Hi, everybody. Welcome to day number four. Deborah was just telling us that if I could summarize for you, Deborah, the just get started advice was the most important thing. Um, and I have found that to be so, that's true in everything we do, isn't it, in life? But in email, you will, so I have clients, and I understand why. I have clients that want to have the whole roadmap figured out. And, um, and that can be paralyzing for some of us. And you kind of have to suspend a little bit of that and just go for it. Because the first argument that I'll make is that it's whatever you're doing, even if it's messy or not even exactly 100 on the nose, it's probably better than what you've got for just for starters. Second, you can throw this stuff away. If it doesn't work, you throw it away. Or if you change course, you throw it away. It's not like there was a whole lot of cost involved in writing a few emails. And third, it the path will often reveal itself because when you start sending those one emails or you start getting the traffic in based off of this one quick start guide, you'll realize whatever it was that you were missing because your audience will tell you, or you'll wonder, why isn't this more effective? Or you'll say, this is crushing it. What else can I do with it? All of those things.
I do have one quick question though. So prior to doing that, what I had was different opt-ins on my site that automatically put you into this welcome series. And there was 5 emails in that welcome series. And then after that, you went into my general population. So the technical part of doing this, what do you do about the other things? Do you turn those all off? And how do you so if I decided I'm going to do this forever series that we talked about yesterday, 1 day a week, and then I'm going to send a roundup a different day of the week, and I'm going to send new content a different day of the week, right? What do you do with the things that were set up before this mastermind?
um, I guess that depends on, do you want to keep it? Do you want to incorporate it? So when I'm working, like if we were working together one-on-one, we would go through each of those and have to make that decision. How does, for example, let's just use this as an example. How does such and such welcome series fit? Well, first of all, people get into it this way, and that journey looks like this for those people. Do we want to keep that, or is what we're doing better than that? Which pieces of that do we want to keep? So, for example, if you've got some pieces from your welcome series that you absolutely love and you wish that everybody with every quick start guide going forward got it, you could take that piece and add that as a email number 6 in every single quick start guide. Um, so the answer is it just kind of depends. Um, Margaret Margaret actually does what I do in reality with my own stuff. Katie too, is if it's messy for a while until somebody complains, because when somebody complains, then you're like, oh, then it helps you spot the problems a little bit better. Um, but it kind of goes back to what I was talking about before. You can send more emails than you think. And the reality is that uh, the mess is not that big of a deal to the people who are actually receiving it. So anyway, that was not an answer for you, Deborah. The answer is it totally depends on what it is and how do you clean it up. Is you're going to have to go through it one by one and say, do I want to keep this? I guess my high level advice is think through the journey overall. And within that, you might have multiple, mini journeys for the Jewish folks, for the vegan folks, right? For everybody else. What does that journey look like? On this call, we can't solve that, but you're going to need to stew on that a little bit on a Delta flight and see if you can come up with that. And then you have to go back and say, this old thing that I was sending, does this fit anymore there? That's a very reasonable question and one that you'll all face if you have anything going on. And now I'm throwing these extra things in the midst. Great question. Anybody else have any questions before I dive into my prepared remarks? Um, all right. Okay, let's do it. So what have we talked about so far? Growing the list. We've talked about what to send, what to write. Did anybody make any changes to your sending schedule as a result of some of the things that we've been talking about? Curious to know that. Did you add to a Forever series that you might have had? Um, oh, I skipped a question here. If you don't have a Forever series at all, would you schedule those 5 one a week and then add one per week into it as you go? Yes, because within the sequence that you've got or the automation that you've got, you should be able to set that these goes, 1 week later. So creating them in a batch and then putting them all in at one time doesn't mean they all get sent at one time. They're just prepped and ready. So yeah, that's my typical advice when I'm doing one-on-one coaching is we'll like, okay, did you do your homework? Did you write the 5? Great. We drop those in. We're ready. And now your job is to fit it into your system to keep adding to it, however, whatever that looks like. Some people will do, so I was just talking to Trisha, one of my clients, and she has one day a week, or excuse me, one day a month where she writes 5 or 6 emails for her Forever series. That's just what she does. Others will add one per week. Others are taking their broadcasts and seeing can they make that evergreen and then dropping that in. Others have a big master list that they're just working through as they can. All right. I was just the comments on the flight stuff is funny. Okay, so now let's talk about selling stuff. Let's talk about making money. And it's not just sales, but at the heart of everything we're doing, there is a sale involved, isn't there? So that's kind of why that's safe to mention. Let's bring this up here real quick. So I posed this question a while back. If I knew that I had 6 months before everything changed with my traffic dramatically, what would I do? And then, of course, the email guy will say that I would build my list as big as possible. And the reasons for that is that once we've got this list growing, we can drive traffic wherever we need it to go. If we need to get into a new business line of business or a new channel, we can jumpstart that line of business or that channel quickly with the people that love us. When you're ready to actually sell something or unlock a revenue stream, you have people that will pay attention. There aren't many other ways. You may have a huge social following and you may try to put, this stuff out there, but you're still at the whim of the algorithms. Additionally, I think now more than ever, and I have a lot of folks in crafts, I have a lot of folks in foods, we have a few other people in other areas, but it applies to all y'all. Is that how are you different? You're more than just a search result. I know that. Your mother knows that. But do your engaged readers know that? So how do we convey that? What makes you special? You're not just another food blogger, if you'll forgive that. Okay? What we've been talking about as far as using the automations and the magic of email and thinking through the journey, it's all about this. I'm on soapbox for just a moment. Some of you last summer, was it last summer? I think it was last summer, maybe it was last fall. I invited my friend Greg Head to the Email Autopilot group, and he did a presentation on positioning. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend that you do it. I probably should come prepared with the link here.
Sometimes fall into the bystander effect, but I'm trying not.
If you go into the Email and Autopilot group, you'll be able to find it there. Just look for Greg Head. Now, he's not a blogger or a creator. He has just been involved with small businesses for the last 30 years. And he taught me that positioning is the real estate that we occupy in the minds of our readers, of our audience. Look, many of us knew each other before. Most of the time when I do this mastermind, we haven't met. So I want you to go back to before we knew each other. How did we meet? Some of you may have hired me because you heard of somebody else had worked with me. Raptive may have said, join this mastermind from this guy who says he knows something about email. At this point, I suspect, I may not be right, but it's probably how you think about who is Matt Mullen? He's the email guy for bloggers. Maybe something like that. Maybe that's too grandiose. Maybe I'm pumping myself up there. But my guess is it's something like that. Guess what? I know a lot of things about email, not just for bloggers. I was in e-commerce for 20 years. That's actually arguably where I have more experience with email. But Now my positioning is the email guy for bloggers. So what is yours? I'm deviating from the topic today a little bit from the make money with email because it's kind of into marketing 101 a little bit. But I'm bringing this up because when I work one-on-one with people, I find that they couldn't even tell you what makes them special and different. If that's you, if you're struggling with that, if that's imposter syndrome, or as you may be adjusting that and changing that, please go listen to his advice. He gives you a formula where it's almost Mad Libs. You can fill in the blank to help you identify your positioning statement. It changed my career. This is about 10 years ago I met him, and I was struggling with a very specific problem at a specific company, and he changed my career. All right, moving on. I hope that helps. Thanks for dropping the link in there. Yes, all these videos are not going away anywhere. They will be there for you. All right, ways to make money with email. Here we go. This is a presentation I shared at Tastemaker. So it is catered mostly to food, but those that aren't food, I think you will get the general gist of it, and I will adjust it. But I think the slides make sense. First of all, there's a baby on the screen. Why is there a baby on the screen? Well, to remind you that you didn't make money blogging right away. You didn't walk before you crawled. That may be where you are with email today, and that's all right. So some of the things I'm going to share with you might be applicable now, and many might not be. Many might require you to just focus on building the list and serving your audience to begin with, and just know that these opportunities are there once you do. But for many of you, these opportunities are there now. I just don't want you to get frustrated, okay? This is a process. I did not promise to make you rich with email in 5 days. I'm teaching you how to make money with email. It doesn't mean it happens overnight. All right, easy way, number one, to make more money with email. First of all, follow what Raptive and Mediavine are doing. There's a reason that I bring this up, and I'm mentioning that other company here too, because both of them are highly committed to making the most for their creators, the most money for their creators in the ad space. They are spending a lot of time and money, both of them, on this concept of first-party data. Are you paying attention? So this slide's a little dated already, but Mediavine has been, over the last several years, investing very heavily in their separate network called Grow, with the whole intention to get first-party data so that they can control or have better sense of who to show ads to that isn't just reliant upon cookies and Google and all that stuff. Raptive has been all in on newsletter ID. In fact, I should drop this up here. You need to have this. If you don't have this in your heart of hearts, you need to understand this. Seriously, you need to understand this. I'm going to drop that link here. The gist of this, and I'm going to oversimplify it because that's who I am, is that when somebody clicks on an email from your newsletter, if it is tagged appropriately, it will go into the Raptive safe room with this data is being hashed, which means it's obscured, but it knows more about that subscriber, and it is shared in these privacy-enabled hash environments. It's shared with other folks that know something about that email address. This works more powerfully and more reliably than a cookie does. Think of it this way. How often or what do you use your email address for? Margaret uses her email to buy a Honda. She uses her email for her Starbucks orders. She uses her email to book her trip to Trinidad and Tobago. What do we know about Margaret now? The advertisers start to paint this picture. And then when that's shared with each other, They can show ads that make more relevance to Margaret and then make more money. Okay. So this is the short version of that. They're spending real dollars on this, and they continue to do so. Slickstream, PrintPass, or gated print from Raptive is coming now. Why are they still doing all this, folks? They're investing entire teams. They have an entire team that's invested in do it for you for their top creators. And it's not just a loyalty play. It's because there's money attached to this. More emails that are clicked and ID'd equals better targeting, and better targeting equals more money from advertisers. Let's go back to this real quick. Just because we can't leave this behind. Are all of you doing this? What I mean by that is that depending on your platform, in order for this to work, you need to be adding to every single link this is Akumba mail. I'm not even familiar with that, but ActiveCampaign. Here's an example. You're going to add that to the end of every link if you have ActiveCampaign. If you're not doing that on every single email, you are missing out on opportunities for the IDing to take place. By the way, when you do this, this also helps out each other. So when somebody clicks on Carolyn's ID'd link and they visit Carolyn's website, and then later they happen to stumble across Amy's website, Raptive can go, I know that one. And on Amy's website can serve more relevant ads because that user clicked on Carolyn's. You see how we're all helping each other. Okay. A couple of things here. You need to add that if you are not on Kit, you need to add this manually to every single link. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is when this came out and I was having to add this to every single link with Kit, I contacted the CEO at Kit and I said, you need to talk to the people at Raptive and make this work, and they did. So you're welcome. For those of you who are on Kit, it was purely selfishly motivated because I was sick of adding it to every single link. And now in Kit, you just click that one button. It's in the settings. It shows it here. Where is it down here? You just make sure that these two are selected. Deborah, I think you were asking that question. All right. If you're not on Kit and you've been on the fence, this is probably the one reason to consider it, because you're going to make more money. How much? Well, it depends. But James, I asked him a couple months ago. James Baldwin is the vice president of engineering over there at Raptive. He told me it's about 40% greater RPMs on ID'd links. 40%. So that's easy way number one. All right. Easy way number two. This one is a little cheap. Send more emails. Okay. Look, the reason for that is just what we've been talking about. You'll actually, this is no laughing matter right now. I have clients, I have a done for you services agency, and I track, for these clients get a lot of traffic. I track the percentage of page views and sessions that come from email. And if I'm doing my job right, it increases slowly. If I'm doing my job right and they're getting hit by Google updates and their Google traffic's going down, it increases a lot. I've had people go from literally 2% of all of their page views were from email to 30%. So email can become a very important part of your revenue stack. You're going to make money when people click. Email, easy way number three. Not just send more emails, but send more about the moneymakers. Not all of your posts are created equal from an RPM perspective. This is an illustration. I think this is like frozen coloring pages or something like that. All right. So This shows you that it had 32,000 page views and made $618 because the RPM was 19 something. But this other one where the RPM is $49 on that page, fraction of the page views equals almost the same amount of revenue. Okay? If all else is being equal, why not send those posts that make you more money? Now, of course, let's not be ridiculous. If you're sending an email about cookies, you don't inject something about tuna salad just because tuna salad has high RPMs, right? Don't be silly. At the same time, if you're looking at your cookies and you're doing a roundup of 5 to 10, and the snickerdoodle, for whatever reason, makes you $5 more per thousand, that might be at the top. Just saying. Another piece on this, the ones that do this best, they identify their top 20 RPM posts, and then they go look at their upcoming broadcasts, their Forever series, and they figure out, where can I get these articles in here? I'm going to manufacture ways to share this more frequently. Do you remember what I said about email math? It's highly unlikely that people get upset with you if you repeat a topic, because if your open rate is 50%, that means that 50% of people never saw it the first, never even saw the thing. And if your click-through rate is 10% or less, that means that 90+% of people never clicked. You're not going to irritate people. You know what? Margaret brings up a great point. Google traffic is not the list. There's a couple of points I want to make with that. First, if you counted on Google traffic to send more, to get more out of this post that makes $50 RPM, it may never happen. But I can drive traffic there. That's from a revenue perspective. But then I also want you to think about the journey. You may have you may rank #1 for stinky tuna casserole. And so people land on your stinky tuna casserole and you get that traffic. That does not mean that your whole audience cares about stinky tuna casserole. It just means that that sliver of the world that was Googling it wanted it. You are not defined by that. I did not rank for a long time for Disney Cruise packing list. But you better believe that was #2 in my Forever series because I knew I had a great packing list. I actually like tuna. It does kind of stink. I think we have to be honest about that. All right, sorry, I missed some other questions. We do this with our new recipe email every week. We say, also check out these hot recipes and like 2 or 3 of the highest RPM posts that week. I love that. That's a great way to introduce it, to insert that in there. Just easy, easy, easy. Okay, let's look at #4. Understand your ROI. 95, 98, 99% of the people that I work with directly have no idea if they're making money with email. What they do know is how expensive their MailChimp, MailerLite, Flowdesk, Kit, ActiveCampaign cost is. They are not looking at all the other pieces. So I would invite you to track your ROI. I've got the calculator here if you've never used it. I will drop it here into the old Chatterooski. And then I'll put it up here so you can see what it looks like. Come up here, hit File, make a copy. It's really basic, but if you have this many subscribers and you send 10 times a month and you get this many page views per click and your RPM is that and your Kit program costs you that and your click-through is that, then this is your rough math. Okay? So this just tells you if I send more emails, I'm going to make X amount more, right? And so this doesn't even factor in all the other ways that you're going to make money. This is just off of Raptive paying you from clicks. Okay, so quit looking at just the cost. It is a cost center and start looking at what can I do here to incrementally grow my revenues. All right. All right, now, Now here's more ways to make money with email. Notice I took off the word easy. Okay, now we're getting into it a little bit. Start here. This is one of those things that some dude does a mastermind and he throws up a slide like this, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Please stop for a minute. Most of my clients have never actually thought this through this way. What problem are you solving? What is the motivation behind that person that is turning to you for a solution? What problem are you solving? Because when you figure that out, that is core to making money. So the power of the segments. So for the purposes of this discussion, what is segmentation? Well, I'm talking about dividing your list up by type. Okay, I'm being very literal here. And then creating special series or messages or journeys for each group. This is more work than you want to do. But if you'll do it, you'll thank me later. Why? It's obvious. Better open rates, narrow down your solutions, increase sales. Solve my problems and maybe I'll buy from you. Did I? Oh, can't sell anything until you built trust. Look, you and I are not Walmart or Target. We don't have the brand cachet of Amazon. We don't have the budgets to put our faces and logos on billboards everywhere and be in front of everybody. So when we're going to actually turn towards monetization, the trust that you've built is truly everything. Here's a little kind of a dumb example, but this happened to me a couple years ago. I was tagged in a Facebook group, and I don't know, I didn't know this person. I don't know why I was singled out. But email marketing doesn't work. I've tried to sell my book and nobody is buying it from me. Tag Matt Mullen. So I was like, okay, I'll bite. And I said, I got on a call with her, and here's what happened. She ranked very high for fried chicken. So over the years, she'd had this audience being built up with people that were coming for fried chicken. She went through a health crisis and changed her eating habits completely. And then she emailed her list with about this ebook that outlined what she did to solve her health crisis. Nobody bought it. I said, let me get this straight. You sent one email to a list that you hardly ever send emails to, that signed up because they were interested in your fried chicken. And then you're telling them that they need to eat completely differently and do something that is on a health journey that they don't, a health crisis that they don't have. Do you see the disconnect on why sales didn't happen? I know that's obvious now, but we all act that way sometimes. We create this product, we have this idea on a Saturday, we bang it out, and then we send it to our list, and then nothing happens. We go, doggone it, email doesn't work. So if you'll do this, things will change for you. Build thriving lists with segments of target readers and serve them over and over and over again, and then monetize. Okay, so let's do this. What are your top segments? I'm very thirsty. I would like some Diet Mountain Dew, a little sip. So go ahead, write down your top 5 segments while I do that. I'd love to see if you feel like sharing in the chat, because sometimes this is hard. My crafters, sometimes it's a little bit more obvious. I have the crochet people, I have the sewing people, I have the quilting people, and I have the macrame people. We still don't know what macrame is, but there are people that love it. With food, you might be going, people who like breakfast and people who like lunch. You can do better than that. Come on. Tron has got smoker recipes. Okay, good. That's one. I know you have more. I just recently went through this exercise with the person who is the top or one of the top creators in sourdough. And as we were going through it, he realized that he had like weekend bakers, but there was this level that really loved his stuff that were like sourdough aficionados. And then we're like, what can we do there? Because he has he isn't just a casual sourdough expert. He's like fully invested. He understands the chemistry, the science. He uses words I don't understand. I think there might be macrame in sourdough, possibly. Okay, so let's look here. All subscribe. Okay. I don't mean your list specifically, but generally, who can you serve? Because what we're trying to do. Of course, the slice recipe people. Sourdough cakes, cookies. Is there really a difference between, I think there is with sourdough, but is there really a difference between the cakes people and the cookies people? And what's the difference with the nostalgic recipes? What does that person look like? Is there really a difference with no bake, no cook recipes? All right, I think Deborah's got it. Jewish, vegan, health conscious, gluten-free, time constraint. All right, top 5 should be 30-minute meals, holiday baking, high protein vegan, brunch. Yeah, those are all very different. Okay, good. So Tracy, what are the things? They all want different things, but what are they? We're just going for the top 5. I'm begging you to do this exercise, even though it's uncomfortable. And I'm challenging you on it. Literally, what's the difference between cakes and cookies? There may be a difference. You may tell me that the baker of a cake wants to do the fancy frosting and the fondant and all that stuff, and the cookie just is a weekend baker. No idea. Okay, Cricut, very different from paper crafts, very different. Christmas crafts is a little more general, right? Dessert recipes, home decor crafts. Home decor could fit into some of those others. Amy's got beginners, people who like free stuff, seasonal products, and people who buy. Okay. I think you have beginners down, but beginners like free stuff. Beginners might buy your products. Beginners like seasonal projects. Do you treat advanced, intermediate, teachers, firefighters, moms of newborns, retirees, Santa? Santa's just one person, though. He's not a very big audience, but you might have something he wants. My top 5 should be OTs, PTs, educators, parents, and counselors. Now, Margaret, I think in the past, you and I have maybe riffed on this a little bit. You have different things for those different segments. Am I right? I think you've created content for those. Yeah. Okay, Jasmine's got Nigerian recipes, Southern soul food. Those are very different right there, right? The person who's looking for Nigerian recipe is not necessarily looking for Southern soul food. There could be a sticking point for me. Should it be? I don't know, Amy. Should it be? Beginner gardeners, intermediate or advanced, house plants, vegetable gardening, or flower gardening. It could be all of those, right? That's a really good point. The person who's willing to hang to put up this beautiful plant right here, it's fake, might have a different need than somebody who has a flower garden. All right. Look, we didn't solve it, but I want you to be thinking about it. And I spent more time on that than we need to because it's important. The rest of it falls in line. I wish I could inject this in your brain, what I'm feeling right now. Because all the rest of it are tactics. And honest to goodness, if you will do these things, what I'm about to tell you, or what I just told you and what I'm about to tell you, it will open up everything else. The path will reveal itself because you will change your mindset about how you're thinking about your list. Once you make a list of your top 5 segments, you want to find out who these people are. You can do a survey and ask. You're going to get very few people who will tell you, but that does not mean it's a worthless endeavor. Just going to get the vocal ones. Think about how often you take the time to fill out a survey. Even with people that you love, you're busy. You can tag your links. For example, if I had a Nigerian recipe and I put it in a roundup of what I'm making this weekend, I could tag every time somebody clicked on that Nigerian recipe. That might tell me, it gives me a good chance to make me think that they're perhaps interested in Nigerian recipes. Same with, this analogy works better with slow cooker or air fryer, doesn't it? Or Uni pizza oven, because we know they have to have those devices in order to make that recipe. But that's how you could use tagging. You can also go back in time. Some of you have been doing this for a while, but maybe you never created these segments. Go back and look at that air fryer quick start guide that you made. Who all signed up for that? Take them and drop them into a tag or label that is talks about their interest. By the way, I would tag these this way. I would do something like this is specifically in Kit, but you might apply it to ActiveCampaign or other or MailChimp or wherever as well. And the reason I do this is so that I can easily see what was I thinking when I put air fryer together. Oh, interest. It's their interest. Margaret, you're right. With your audience, they probably will because there's more writing on it for them than a general food blogger. The point was made that some people will fill out a survey. Yeah, it's not a worthless endeavor for sure. One of the challenges you have then is then bringing that data back and attaching it to the email record so that you know how to serve them going forward. One of the audiences I think is important aren't the folks that are finding me. Okay, there are two parts here. There's who do you want to be when you grow up? Plan for it. Build the quick start guides, do all the things. And then there's the people that you serve. Which segments make sense for you to serve them? It could be that you made on a whim, you made this one post this one time and it happens to rank really high, but it doesn't define you who you are. You have to decide, do I want to serve those people or not? Do I want to call that a segment or not? Or do I just call it, oh, thanks, I'll take the traffic. All right. Now, that's why the quick start guide is so helpful. Is it tags them, it labels them right from the jump, it nurtures them right from the jump, and then you know who you have. Never done anything with the interest tags yet, but you have that information. Good, good, good. All right, what else? I used to find out what the list needs help with. Yeah, the survey and this information, if nothing else, if you do nothing else with it, you'll at least have a better sense of what your demographic looks like and how you can help. Turns out I have a ton of parents. I had fewer teachers than I thought, but I have a ton of parents. Okay, maybe that's my content creation queue. And I start thinking about that. So there's lots of reasons to do this besides just selling them something, for sure. Not sure if we have tags in Flowdesk, but I can add someone to a segment. It sounds like Wilma said that you can. Wilma, maybe you can help Jasmine there. Would it make sense to do this if it triggers going into a quick start guide they may have already completed? Would it make sense to do this if that triggers them to going? You probably don't want them to go through a quick start guide again, but usually in the settings, I'm just not sure how Flowdesk does it, but it probably has it so they don't receive the same sequence twice. That's how Kit does it, and I think MailChimp does the same thing too. You can turn it on so that they can get it. So you'll just have to check to see. All right, now let's stop there. Let's just think about this. Let's zoom out. We're building our list, but now we're focused on where the traffic is. And we're focused on, can we turn those into segments? I recently was on a webinar where I taught the Society of American Travel Writers. If you're in travel, you know that your challenge is a little bit different because somebody wants to go to Paris. As soon as they're done going to Paris, they don't need your content anymore. But do you see how this actually helps and solve that? Because you serve the person for the time with the stuff that you have while you can. My Disney cruise is an example of that. Quick start guide for Disney cruise, drops them into a quick start guide, or excuse me, a forever series for Disney cruise, which was, I don't know, several months long. And then they are now on my general Disney interest because they kind of graduate. You can do the same thing with travel. You can do the same thing with cooking. You can do that because there are common themes. So just because you know that the journey might come to an end or you run out of content is not a reason to avoid doing this. It's actually a reason to do this. Because what happens if one of these takes off in any way? Meaning the open rates are crazy, the click rates are insane, the feedback is fantastic. You may go, I've only got 7 emails in here. I need to make the 8th. I need to make the 9th. I can serve these people. There's a product here. Okay? If you don't do these, you will not get that insight. Okay, moving on. So a few years ago, when the kids were just about to fly the coop, we decided to take a big trip. And we were going to go to Europe, and it was a 3-week adventure. We were super excited. And but I said, we're going to pack light. Okay, we are going to go from train to train to train, and we're going to hit a bunch of different cities in several different countries. We do not have time to mess around. So you're going to get one of these backpacks. And I got my kids every one of these backpacks, and it was a carry-on only trip. And it was the Peak Design backpack that has like a gazillion zippers and incredible organization capabilities. It's got handles everywhere that you want them. You can hang carabiners off of it. Loved it. We had a great experience. Okay. Why am I telling you about this? Other than to brag that I went to Europe with my kids once. Because I loved this backpack. It genuinely helped me in my travels. The first area that I want to talk about for monetization is one that many of you do not do at all, or you don't do it right, in my opinion. And that's affiliate marketing. Okay? Do me a favor. I want you to make a quick list in the chat. I want you to list as many tools related to your topic that you can, and I want specific brands and models if you have them. All right? What are these products that you use that you can't live without, that make your life easy, save you time and money, do the work of many tools, help you feel like you're super smart, and you just can't stop talking about them, like me and the Peak Design backpack? Ready, set, go. I seriously want to know. What are some products that you use every day? Adrian, the short answer to your question is I just delete. All right. Clover crochet hooks. Wilma, Clover's the best. Am I right? I mean, if anybody's ever tried a Clover crochet hook versus a non-Clover crochet hook, you know what I'm talking about. It's just that tactile feel, maybe the quality of the instrument, the weight in your hand. Clover. All right. Tron, if that's your real name, says Thermapen. Thermapen. Is that the thermometer you stick into the side of the turkey and you know exactly how hot it is? Is that what that is? The Porter Road Butcher. I assume that's a knife, or is that a person? Or is that you take your stuff to the butcher on Porter Road. Damascus steel knife, Le Creuset. Oh, are we gonna have battles here with Le Creuset versus what's the other one? What's the other one? Oh, it's got another fancy name. Margaret's got very specific child development toys. I'm guessing within that there are actual toys. Like there's ones that you're not telling me, but there's a name of toy number 1 and toy number 2, and certain apps, certain therapy equipment. Yeah. All right, Katie, have we been over that? We probably have, but the Cricut, there's so much you can do with Cricut. Oh, the Cricut Maker, the paper trimmer, the white cardstock. You like that for specific cardstock, okay? The way it slides through the yarn. The KitchenAid, Caraway, Nordic, dual computing. What? Oh, Lodge and Staub. Yeah, that was it. The Lodge and Staub versus Le Creuset debate. Oh boy, Oh, wait, Carolyn, you don't get to choose both of them. Sorry, you have to pick a side. We got a lot. Okay, I'm just looking through these. These are fun. Pickleball paddle, Deborah? Is there a specific brand? I mean, come on. You gotta have it. I'm sure there is. Look, how many of you were looking at this list and are like, I wonder what that is. I wonder why she likes that. Wonder about this butcher. What's the difference between Staub and Lodge and Le Creuset? Um, so the reason I bring this up is that those strong feelings that you have changed the way you work. Those are the problems that you can solve. Those are the things that you know that other people would love to know. There's a lot of different affiliate-ready content that you could be making. I mentioned this before. In our Forever series for the Disney cruise, we had an article. We linked to an article that was, do you need trip insurance? There's a 17% chance that you do. And this was like week 13 or 14 in the Forever series. And then it takes them to this article that was like 5,000 words long, and it's got pros and cons. And then at the end, it offers them an alternative to the Disney trip insurance. If you want to get trip insurance, try it from Allianz. We like them. And that was an affiliate play. Okay, so how that was an education piece, but it was also an affiliate play. This one email covered the cost of our expensive list year over year. Just that one email in one series of one niche. Was it making me rich? No, but I just quit worrying about my email costs after that. How to use a particular item. How do you use a matcha plant milk frother? I've wondered that forever. Well, you show me how to use it, and then you tell me which one to get. What are the things that you can't live without? Uh, Sally has this in her Forever series. She still has it. Sally is big time. She's making money off of this post from affiliates. She's making money off of ads from Raptive, and she's educating her audience and teaching them how to be better bakers. So she's fulfilling a promise to them. She's serving them while she's doing this. There's new stuff that comes out all the time. The new Cricut machine, we're probably on Cricut 2000 now. I don't know. It comes out all the time. How do you use it? The starter kit. Cricut's a great example here. Cricut, there are approximately 450 million accessories that you can purchase to go with your Cricut, and you really need 7. So the starter kit, what you need versus what you don't need, is a tremendously helpful piece of content for people. Sometimes they just love you. They're like, Leon, you're the best. You make the best slices, and I love your accent, and so I want to know all your favorite things. The gift guide. This is a classic, right? So are you doing any of these? I hope that you're doing some of these. And once you've done these, I'll explain that in a minute. You can also do deal stuff. If you can actually bust through the noise of there's so much marketing goes around some of these sales, for example. The dirty truth is that many of those things are not actual deals. And so Merrick, she'll explain what is a deal in there and what you should get. Black Friday is a great time for that. Amazon Prime Day is another. So ways that you can use email in this particular case is you can add it as an important piece of content to a quick start guide or a Forever series. I'll share with you an example of a quick start guide here in just a moment. The Forever series example I just explained to you. It's great. Like Sally has, I just mentioned, one of the largest bloggers in the world has that in her Forever series in the first month or two because she wants to make sure everybody knows what tools to use. It's not just self-serving, it is serving them too. You can also, of course, do designate seasonal broadcast to this. Tags and triggers, this is a great place to introduce that. So one of those suggestions that we had, I think, Wilma, you said you were tagging them, but not doing anything with them. Let's say that you had links and somebody clicks on a Roundup and it's air fryer recipe and they click on it. You could trigger a new quick start guide or a series of emails that are related to air fryer recipes to make. Here's my air fryer to buy. Over the next 3 days, I'm going to share with you my how to use the air fryer and which one to get and what accessories you need. There's a whole bunch of affiliate stuff in there that gets triggered because you know that they have an air fryer, and you don't need to bother everybody else with that that doesn't want it. You can even I have creators that even create a separate newsletter for this. I have a food blogger that was having so much success with when she was recommending certain Amazon products, she decided to make a deals newsletter. She got 30,000 subscribers onto a deals newsletter. She had 100,000 subscribers. She had 30,000 just go straight into a deals newsletter. She handed that off to a member of her team, and their job is for those people is to find food-related deals. You can add affiliate content to your template. So I was talking with Corey was on one of these once, and she shared this is what she does. She actually, since we've been talking about Cricut for the last 5 minutes, she would put this at the bottom of her emails, and this was just a template that she would just update once a quarter. And so she would update it so that she had the Expressions Vinyl promo code and her summer promo code for Cricut, and then at that time it was Amazon Storefront. You can do this in Kit with snippets. It's much easier now than it ever was before. So a snippet is simply a reusable block that you can insert into whatever campaign you want. And in every campaign that it's in, you edit it there and it updates it in all the campaigns that it's in, right? So here's how Lindsay does it from Nourish Move Love. So look at this one over here first. This is an example of her email. She has a spot for affiliate, and she's identified certain affiliate things that she, believes in. And so she'll just cycle through those so that there's always, if she doesn't fill that spot with a sponsor, she's always got an affiliate in that spot. We talked about launching a new series, but my friends, fall is right here. We're staring it in the face. Let me look at this. Okay, for those of you who have a Staub, a Le Creuset, a Lodge, take that and couple it with fall. What comes to mind? How would you use that during the fall? And you start that series with which Dutch oven do you need, or whatever these things are, okay, do you need? There's an affiliate play right there, and on top of that, it gave them more content. You create a quick start guide that's 3 emails long that has recipes, accessories, and of course, the main thing to buy. And you could say, this is because it's fall, to help you get started for fall, this is only available until Labor Day. The day after Labor Day, I'm turning this off. Why would you do that? It gives you an excuse to push it more for a limited period of time. And that will drive a higher concentration of people when you want them. Yes, I'm talking about a quick start guide, a launch of a quick start guide to your existing audience, and treat it like it's a product with a marketing push, like it's a big promo. If you'll do that, you will love the results, because the people who will sign up for it are they have a high intent. The seasonality is perfect. It's free for them, but there's other things that you can promote through affiliate. These are related to food, but they apply to all y'all, right? From apps to individual products, courses, other people's courses, the tools that you use of the trade, subscription boxes, subscriptions in general, and then of course each other. Some of you have created products, services, books. You can promote each other and share revenue through affiliate links. Now, remember what I said about there's a right way and a wrong way to do affiliate? I kind of alluded to that. I don't know if I said that. You can, and some of you are, you can say, here's what I'm buying this week. And you can create a list of Amazon links. That's cool. You're not going to get very much money though. You know that. If you've done it, you know that. Here's what works better. Fall in love with a product and explain why you love it over and over and over again. Teach them how to use it. So one of my clients had the opportunity to be in one of those meat subscription box delivery services as an affiliate. So she said, I'll give this a try. She got the promo code, use code Amy, 15% off, get such and such. She put it in some newsletters. Nothing, crickets, nada. And I said, well, why do you like this product? What are you even bothering? Well, here's what I do. I buy it because I really like the chicken. And I found that the price of the chicken are similar to the prices that I get at Costco, but then it delivers it to my door. I think it's a better quality of meat. And then every Monday when I get it, I pull it all out, I put it on my counter, and I make these 5 recipes, and then I make one for that night, and then the rest go in the freezer for the rest of the week. I said, that's your email. It was Amy's super secret system or something like that. Don't remember what we called it. She sent that out. She became their #1 affiliate overnight. She actually kept sending that so much that she transferred the affiliate arrangement into a sponsorship deal. Because she was not promoting that product per se, she was promoting the solution. With trip insurance, does it matter if it's Allianz or if it's Nomad, whatever, digital, whatever? Does it matter? I'm just telling you that you might need it, and this is a good choice. If I had just taken Allianz trip insurance and stuck that in my newsletter and said, we need trip insurance, it would not work very well. So you need to fall in love. You must. I suggest that you fall in love with your affiliate partners, limit it down, find the ones that can make you the most money as well. Affiliate links are not them. And promote those more in a way that is unique and different. Katie, the way that you teach about Cricut and the technique that you use with that special pizza cutter thing that they've got, it's fantastic. And so everybody's going to need the special Cricut pizza cutter just to do the Katie Adams way. All right. And if you don't do it that way, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to waste time. Okay. I see this over and over and over again. I'm going to end it there today. Because tomorrow it's less theory and it's just going to be more of this type of stuff where I'm just going to share a bunch of examples. I know that some of you are selling things. So tomorrow we'll talk specifically about sales funnels, sales email funnels, and best practices there. We'll talk about sponsorships, talk about ads. We'll talk about whatever else silly thing pops into my head, but whatever it is, it will happen. So we'll see you tomorrow at the 9 a.m. Pacific time. I apologize again for the mess up with the times, but I appreciate your patience and flexibility with me. So we will see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, like usual, go ahead and unmute. Your homework assignment is do all the things that you were supposed to have done to this point that you have not yet done because there was something good on Hulu. And now's your chance because I just checked. There's nothing good on Hulu anymore. So now you can get it done. All right, great. Any questions? Wow, actually ending on time. All right, we'll see you everybody. Ta-ta.